Evening, everyone, and I would like to welcome you to the April 3rd regular council meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order. I see that all members of council are here, along with our new youth reps, so welcome. We acknowledge that this land is the traditional territory of the Three Fires Confederacy of the First Nations, comprised of the Ojibwe, the Ottawa, and the Potawatomi peoples, and of the Huron-Wyandot peoples. We value the significant historical and contemporary contributions of local and regional First Nations and of all the original peoples of Turtle Island who have been living and working on the land from time immemorial. Please stand for the national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command.
Car ton bras s'est porté l'épée, il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits.
God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
This time, I would like to welcome our two youth members to their first meeting of council. We have Colin and Lauren, and I'm going to come back there and give you a little prize for coming, and we'll take a little picture. You don't get this every time, but we want you here every time. Thank you. So Colin, I'd like to present you with the Town of Essex sweater. And same for you, Lauren. Wear it with pride. And we're doing a garbage cleanup too. That'd be a good time to wear it too. And we have, they have, our youth reps have their own business cards stating a youth council member. So here's yours and your little notebook for taking notes. And some pens. And same for you, Colin. Okay, we'll take a picture with both of you up here too. Yeah. Thank you. Mom, do you want to, are you good? Or you want to come up here? Right. Thank you, Lauren and Colin, for joining us. I would also like to bring up our director, Director Morris here. He has a little announcement about our Colchester Harbor. You can announce it. Your baby.
So the town of Essex was successful and won the Best of Windsor Essex Award for the Colchester Harbor as the best anglers attraction. So they were nice enough to give us a nice plaque for that. So congratulations to the town of Essex.
Thank you. For that, Director, it's always great when one of our local facilities wins such a prestigious award. So thank you to all of our staff down there at Colchester Harbor for making it the place to be. I will go to Ms. Brown now for the closed meeting reports for March 23rd and April 3rd.
Through you, Mayor Bondi, I can report that council met in closed session on March 23rd at 9 a.m. to receive education and training pursuant to and as permitted by section 239, 3.1 of the Municipal Act. At this meeting, council discussed their strategic priorities for the 2022 to 2026 term of council. Council met tonight in closed session at 5 p.m. to receive education and training pursuant to and as permitted by Section 239, 3.1 of the Municipal Act. At this meeting, council received education pertaining to development charges, including the purpose of development charges, the Development Charges Act, and the town's development charges bylaw. Council also received education on the More Homes Built Faster Act and its potential impacts on the municipality. And that is all I have to report.
Declarations of conflicts of interest from members of council. Seeing none, looking for a mover of the adopted agenda as amended with amended 14.2.2. Looking for a mover. Deputy Mayor Shepley, Councillor Mady. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried unanimously. Adoption of minutes of the regular council meeting for March 20th, 2023. Looking for a mover that the minutes of the regular council meeting held March 20th be adopted as circulated. Councillor McGuire Blaze, Councillor Hammond. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor? That is carried unanimously as well. 7.2 special council meeting minutes for March 20th. To consider a proposed draft plan of subdivision that the minutes of the special council meeting be received and adopted as circulated. Councillor Verbeek and Councillor Allard, any questions? Seeing none, that's carried unanimously. We'll keep this up. We'll be in good shape. All right, public presentations. Mr. Rodney Ferris from 3300 County Road 20 regarding road name. So Rodney, if you want to go back to that mic, you have to stand in our special spot and turn on the microphone there so that everybody can hear you, please. And you have 5 minutes to address council.
Won't take that long. Can you hear me? Mayor Bondi, Essex Town Council. I'm here tonight to address on the ongoing problem with my address at 3300 County Road 20, RR number 1, Amherstburg. My wife, Michelle, and I bought this property from my father-in-law back in 2015 to keep it in the family and to escape the living in a subdivision in Amherstburg. The one thing we found out about living in the country is that addresses on the edges of municipalities are somewhat of an issue when it comes to the fact that back in the day, roads were redirected, such as the bend at Highway County Road 20, to allow traffic to flow continually towards Amherstburg. The problem is that the part of the road that was left was never given a proper name. Probably because everyone in the county knew where the old Hutchins farm was and before amalgamations. Move ahead 60 years, and here we have Google Maps, MapQuest, and the fact that people in administrations in the county, town of Essex, town of Amherstburg, have no idea where 3300 County Road 20, RR number 1, Amherstburg is. Without going into much detail, I'm asking you tonight to please consider adding a name to this lost road on the west side of Harrow. So in the future, when I call to get a sign fixed, police, fire, or EMS, that I can say without a doubt, someone will know exactly where this address is. I have talked in the past to the former Fire Assistant Chief Rick Malott, Cherry Bondi Mayor, the now Mayor of Essex, as well as Joe Guerin has been to my property and my address. Rick Malott told me every emergency service knows where I am. That's good, but would you bet my life on it? We have FedEx, Amazon, Purolator, and other delivery services that most of the time can't find my address. And we have to go to the depot to pick it up, the package. Just a final note to this request. I just want you to know that my taxes are always paid on time because the bill always seems to find its way into my mailbox. Thank you for letting me speak to you, council, on this I have here some maps that I ran off of Google Maps, MapQuest, showing that the little road in front of my house is County Road 7 or 7th concession. The Malden Colchester Town Line. It's got many names, but there is no name on that road. So thank you for letting me speak here tonight. Any questions?
For coming and addressing council. I can attest that this has been an ongoing struggle for yourself and your wife since 2015. So I'm glad you're here. Any questions from members of council to Mr. Ferris? Deputy Mayor Shepley.
You, Madam Mayor, Mr. Ferris, I can assure you that even with the proper address, your packages probably won't arrive because they seem to have a hard time finding my place. But since there's no name on the road and we do have a Ferris Road already, do you have any suggestions that you'd like to see for a name of that road?
Well, considering the fact that that portion of the road has always on the west side been owned by the Hutchins for the last 100 years, I think the appropriate name would be Hutchins Drive or Hutchins Road. And I'd like to see my address moved back off of County Road 20 and put onto that road so that people know where we're at. We are not on County Road 20. We're on that little dead end road. So it's an ongoing issue. I'm sorry.
CAO Sweet.
Just to Deputy Mayor Shepley's comment, we do have a naming road policy. So we would follow that, but at any time, council could amend that too if there is a recommendation. We do have our fire chief on. I'm not sure if he has any additional comments or not, or even our director of infrastructure.
Through you, your worship. Deputy Chief Rick Milan at the time, back in 2019, did review it. What we've done is our dispatch, and we ensured that fire dispatch was able to locate. We gave them maps and pictures, and they know exactly where it is. But for the balance thereof, emergency services, we can't guarantee, because I know EMS uses our GIS mapping the county, and the county calls it Malden Colchester Town Line. So as Mr. Ferris says, the road that his house fronts on does have several different names, but we can ensure that fire will get there, but it doesn't mean everyone else can get there.
Councillor McGuire Blades and then CAO Sweet.
Thank you, through the chair. I think my question is for Director Gerard. Two questions. One, why is his address Amherstburg and not Essex? And two, I don't know if that's a you question. But two, is there an official name for the road he's talking about? Because I just pulled it up on Google and it says Concession Road 7. So do we have an official name for it as a municipality?
Through the mayor, yes, the name of the road in the town's records is the Malden Colchester Town Line Road. As far as why the address would be Amherstburg, that's actually usually set by Canada Post when they deal with the postal codes and mailing addresses. I'm not sure of the history of this file. It sounds like there is a history, but I would even suggest, contacting Canada Post to see if there could be a mailing address change or something like that, because the municipality really doesn't have any authority to adjust mailing addresses. Those all come from Canada Post.
Thank you, Director Gerard. And one, I have a follow-up for Chief Arnell. If God forbid there is a fire there, and 911 is called, because his address is Amherstburg, does Amherstburg get dispatched for that, or does Essex?
Through you, your worship, to Counselor McGuire Blaze, Essex would get dispatch. As for dispatching purposes, City of Windsor dispatches both Essex and Amherstburg Fire, and they have the correct address and they would dispatch us first. We've checked that and made sure.
CAO Suite. Counselor Allard.
Through the chair, I've been out to your house. I spoke to your wife when I was campaigning, and I knew exactly when I read the sheet where you were located and the problem that it has there. It's being concession 7 is very confusing because it butts up to concession 4 and concession 7 is miles away. So I understand your plight on finding your house.
Bonnie, so on the screen for the public and council, you can actually see the location. Thank Mr. Ferris for the presentation. I know he's been bringing this forward for a number of years, and there's been a lot of administration turnover, council. So I'd recommend if council would maybe direct administration to come back with a report, just in case we're missing something now, and we can come back with a recommendation.
CAO Suite. Counselor Verbeek has made the motion that the delegation be received and that Town of Essex staff be directed to bring back a report. Looking for a seconder, Deputy Mayor Shepley. And any comments to the motion? So Mr. Ferris, we will bring a motion back, a report back with some history and hopefully some positive direction. We'll let you know when it comes back, okay?
If you're gonna keep that as concession 7, I can really honestly tell you that is nowhere near being close to any 7th concession of Amherstburg or Essex. Just to tell you that before I sit down. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think Councillor Allard has noted that. And if you want to send any further feedback to our staff, please feel free to do so. Any further questions to the motion? Councillor Hammond, put on your mic.
There, I'm just curious, has that always been Amherstburg? No. No.
Because we have a motion on the table,
I'm sorry.
I don't want to allow another speaker to the motion, but I think that will get some more information in our report. Any questions specifically to the motion, not to the delegate, though? We did have a chance to ask questions to the delegate. Okay, seeing none, all in favor of the motion? Okay, that is carried unanimously. Okay, moving on to 8.2, Councillor Guerin and Councillor McGuire Blaze, update on the Festival and Events Conference. I'm not sure who's first. Did you guys work that out? Okay, Councillor Guerin.
Through the mayor, yeah, sure, I'll go first, no problem. Through you. Yeah, so myself and Councilor McGuire Blaze, along with the co-chair of the Essex Fun Fest, Richard Tapping, we attended the 2023 Festival Events Ontario Conference in Niagara Falls last month. Very, very good conference. They haven't been able to hold one for a couple of years, so it was nice to get in the room with other municipalities and other event promoters and stuff, and ask the questions and kind of bounce stuff off each other. The theme this year was celebrate, with the keywords being passion, progress, and performance. They're celebrating the fact that we were actually able to have festivals and events, you know, after the 2 years of pandemic. Celebrating the fact that record crowds, including our Essex Fun Fest, we've never had a year like we had last year. So and that was all while still dealing with supply chain issues and increases in operations, lack of volunteers and staffing. So looking forward to this year's. And one of the things that I was able to get out of it that was most important for our town and for the festival is that in talking to other municipalities and bouncing ideas off them and seeing what's working for them, what's working for us, I'm not really surprised about it because our festival committee's done a great job over the years, but we are really doing a lot of things right. Matter of fact, we've had many municipalities. We had wineries that were so impressed with that put on wine events that were so impressed with our little mixer we had last year that they were taking notes on how we did things. So it was really good. So I'll hand it over to Katie, and she can fill you in on some of the other stuff. But it was good conference.
Thank you, Councillor Guerin. Councillor McGuire Blaze.
Well, I don't know what there is to say, Joe. You said it all. Again, it was my first festival conference. It was a really good one. We were able to talk to a lot of people, and that was really, really positive for us, especially for me being on the Fun Fest committee. And then with the winter festival that we did, we're doing a lot of really good things, and the town's help and our collaboration is really good and very strong. Talking to other municipalities or other people who are running festivals don't always have that. So that was really positive to hear. Some small things that side things that we talked about and I think are important, and I'd like to bring to this municipality and our festivals, is inclusivity and diversity. So they talked a lot about including people who we normally might not have included. And for me, right now, with us adding this land acknowledgement to all of our meetings, I think maybe inviting First Nations to come and do some kind of teaching events at our festivals is a really great idea to include them. We are doing our festival on their lands, and so I think to include them in something would really speak volumes. Other things we talked about with other municipalities was, what can we do for the teens? It's kind of like a really hard genre to appease. So I'm really excited to have our youth council on board. Maybe they can provide some information. But we did get to bring a lot of fun things to our Fun Fest that we're going to incorporate. And so I'm looking forward to see how that pans out. So it was really good for me overall. So those are two really big things that I'd like to include, and involving the youth and the teen genre is also being inclusive, trying to find something for everybody. So thank you.
And Rich Tapping for going on behalf of the town of Essex. And thank you for all the work you do on all the festivals. I know it's a lot of work. So we'll get a motion on the floor, and then we'll have questions to the motion if there is. Looking for a motion that the update regarding the festival and events Ontario Conference presented by Councillor Guerin and Councillor Maguire-Blaze be received. Councillor Allard and by Councillor Mady. Any questions? And that includes our youth reps. If you want to say anything, or maybe in the future, you can give us ideas on how to hit teens and what their interests are. Seeing no questions, all in favor? That's carried unanimously. No unfinished business tonight. We will go to 10, reports from administration. 10.1, Community Services 2023-03, special events notice for the McGregor Music Festival. I'm looking for a motion that the Community Services report be received and that council approve a temporary noise exemption in accordance with noise bylaw 2038 from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Sunday, June 11th at Coan Park to accommodate the entertainment for the McGregor Music Festival, and that council approve the McGregor Music Festival for a significant event status for the purposes of applying for their special occasion permit for their event on June 11th. Looking for a mover, Councillor Verbeek, supported by Deputy Mayor Shepley. Any questions to this motion or report? Something we always do. It's a lot of fun. Hopefully we all get a chance to go out. Okay, seeing no questions, all in favor? That's carried unanimously. 10.2, Community Services 2023-04, special event notice for the Essex Fun Fest, that Community Service Report 2023-04 be received and that council approve a temporary noise exemption from 3 p.m. to 1 a.m. on Thursday, July 6th to Sunday, July 9th. Every day, all day, at the Essex Center Sports Complex to accommodate the entertainment for the Essex Fun Fest, and that council approve closing Fairview Avenue West between 360 Fairview Avenue West at the Essex Civic Center and Hanlon Street, and Hanlon Street from Fairview Avenue West to Victoria Street in Essex Center between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. for the Essex Fun Fest parade, with the lineup prior taking place at the Essex Civic Center, and that council approve the Essex Fun Fest for significant event status for the purposes of applying for a special occasion permit for their event July 6th to 9th. That is a long one. Moved by Deputy Mayor Shepley, supported by Councillor Hammond. Any questions or comments to that motion? Councillor Guerin.
Yeah, so you'll note that the parade route is altered this year, and that's due to the streetscape, the anticipation of the streetscape starting. One of the only routes we found in town that we could actually still put on the same type of parade that we've been doing. So just want to make that a public note.
For that. And any more questions to that motion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? That's carried unanimously. Community Services 2023-05 Special Events Resource Team, that the Community Services report be received. A lot of good things going on there. Looking for a motion that we receive this. Councillor Hammond, supported by Councillor McGuire Blaze. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried unanimously. Oh, woo! Reports from our youth members. So Colin and Lauren, at this time, if you want to make a report, you can announce, events coming up. You can introduce yourself. It would be nice if you even want to introduce yourself. Tell council and members of the public what grade you're in, and maybe some of your passions, and just make sure you turn your mic on if you want to speak.
Colin Pine. I'm a grade 11 student at Essex District High School. I'm interested kind of in the political side. I've served on student council, parent council, and now town council, kind of bridging that. I have nothing to report today on any special events, but hopefully in the future.
Hi, I'm Lauren Smith. I'm a grade 9 student at Essex District High School, and I have nothing to report tonight.
You welcome. And we have, we'll make sure that our team lets you know of a whole bunch of events that we have going on. April 22nd, we have a garbage cleanup. So we're, yeah, I know, I'm going to keep talking. I'm so excited. I'm so excited because this garbage cleanup, Essex is like taking on Kingsville. So it's a challenge. We're actually weighing our garbage. So we need to, and then we'll have to get like a bet going on with Kingsville Council and Essex Council. So we'll need all your help getting all the youth out. County Council update, Deputy Mayor Shepley.
Not much to report on tonight, other than we had our Warden's Banquet luncheon this last week, and we heard from Warden McDonald about what's going on in the county, and we also heard from all the mayors throughout the county about what's going on in their municipalities. It was a nice luncheon and a great way to interact with everybody. Thank you.
It's a really nice luncheon, some really good food. I do have an update from the Essex County Library. We did have a meeting and a motion was put forward that we look at how the Open Plus is working, specifically in Harrow and more so Harrow than any other branch, because other branches it's working. But if we look at the staffed hours at the Harrow Library, we have 15.5 staffed hours, and it used to have 32 staffed hours. So it's a 52 reduction in staffed hours. So we're looking for a report to see, is Open Plus even working and how we can get back to our pre-COVID service levels at the Harrow Library, because it's a really well-used library and it has almost the least amount of hours in the whole system. Not counting the Open Plus hours, but those Open Plus hours are used by a real minority. So that was a really exciting, we had a really exciting library board meeting last time. Okay, correspondence to be received. I'll look for a motion that we receive all the correspondence, and then we'll pull out certain correspondence. That all the correspondence listed in agenda item 13.1 be received. We're indicated to further share the information with the community using suitable methods of communication. So a motion to receive everything. Deputy Mayor Shepley, Councillor Hammond, and all in favor of that. And now that is carried. Any opposed? Okay. So now if there's any members of council or maybe, okay, Councillor Hammond.
Regarding the correspondence from for the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing, correspondence relating to a letter that was sent by Mayor Bondi regarding the Bill 23, which is now an act. I'm disappointed in this letter. It's nothing more than a form letter. It doesn't address any of the points that Mayor Bondi was trying to make regarding our concerns. Maybe inviting the minister to council to hear from us is appropriate to maybe try and get our point across. We've been involved in what the province is trying to push through in 4 years now. We have a lot to contribute as far as what's going on and what problems we are having. And I think the province should be aware of it before they delve too far in it and make any more changes to handicap us even more. Thank you.
And so that sounds like there is a motion from Councillor Hammond to invite the Minister of Municipal Affairs, Stephen Clark, down to Essex Council to discuss our concerns related to him not addressing our letter for the More Homes Built Faster Act. Is that about right? Okay, looking for a seconder. Councillor Verbeek, comments to that motion? Okay, seeing no comments, I would also like to add that our original letter that was sent to the minister be sent to the official opposition so that they are aware of our concerns. Can I have that as a friendly amendment? A mover, and is that okay with the seconder? Okay. All in favor of that motion? Opposed? None opposed? Okay, that's carried unanimously. Any other correspondence that members of council wish to pull out? I do want to have a CAO suite. Just can you talk about the letter from ELK Energy, please?
Bondi, so in your correspondence, we received a letter from the management team at ELK right now, Integris, that they would like to come and meet with the shareholder council. And I have met with them. They're looking at coming to our next meeting. So next April 17th, it'll be at the regular council meeting, an introduction to their team and kind of what their objectives moving forward are right now. So it has been set and is at our next meeting.
I look forward to that. Councillor Guerin.
Yeah, just comment on 13.1.5. It's nice to see Dutton Dunwich support our letter with respect to taxing the short-term rental units as commercial versus how they're being taxed right now. It's also nice to see that when we do send these letters out, that we do get some traction sometimes and get some people, that jump on board with us. So it's great.
Agree, Councillor Guerin. It was a really good motion. And so we do start saving letters in the file, right? Okay. Perfect. Any further correspondence? Councillor Hammond?
13.1.4. IRCA's new bylaws regarding waterfront accommodations and stuff like that. I have a question for administration. Do we have any sort of bylaws regarding our own waterfront accommodations? And basically what I'm looking at is like for docking and stuff like that, as far as personal docks or anything like that.
Thank you for the question, Councillor Hammond. Just turn off your mic and we'll go to Mr. Morissette, Director Morissette. Sorry.
Through you, Mayor Bondi. So we don't have a bylaw in place, but we do have terms and conditions that that are applicable to all members that have lease space at the harbor. So they are required to follow all those regulations. And if there are violations or anything related to that, then our staff would have conversations with them to bring them back. And should it be to the extent that they don't follow those regulations, then we do have the right to remove them from the harbor.
Going outside of the harbor, most of our residents been there a long time. They know the pitfalls of having structures out from the shoreline. Newer residents don't have that. And do we have anything to monitor what is being erected along the shoreline? That is basically my question. And should we maybe start thinking about instilling something?
Through the mayor, no, those are IRCA regulated types of activities. So anything that has to do with the shoreline requires an IRCA permit, and any kind of rules, regulations, and permitting would have to be directed to IRCA for those types of questions.
Reason I bring this up because I know in northern municipalities, they control their waterfronts quite diligently and through taxes too, because a lot of times they're causing differences to their frontage and stuff like that, but also as livable space. I know one particular municipality that, it's okay to have a stairway down to the waterfront, but any landing or decking is considered livable space, which they are taxed on. And I'm just wondering if we're missing any tax opportunities as well for anything that's going out over the lake or down to the lake.
Mitch, we're getting all the directors on board here.
Through the chair. So when MPAC closes a building permit, they will typically do like an aerial or a on-site inspection, and anything that they believe that would qualify within their factors to increase the value is built into that assessment. So depending on what that structure is, it may or may not add value to the assessment. As if it was a simple deck, likely not. But if it was more of an elaborate structure, then it could.
Any further questions on the correspondence? Okay, 13.2, there's no correspondence tonight to be received and supported. 14, committee meeting minutes. That the committee meeting minutes listed in agenda item 14, together with any recommendations, be received, approved, and adopted as circulated. Looking for a mover here for the EIA minutes, Committee of Adjustment minutes, and Arts, Culture, Tourism minutes. Councilor McGuire Blades, Councilor Allard. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried unanimously. There's nothing under financial, no new business tonight. We didn't receive any notices of motion. Get off easy tonight. It's not always this easy, okay? Reports and announcements from members of council. Our CAO does have an announcement that I don't want anybody to miss, so we'll go to Doug, and then we'll go around to members of council if you have a report or announcement.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Bondi. ELK is going to be doing some scheduled service coming up, so it is on the town website. It's also on ELK. They're on their Twitter, but just for the general public, on Sunday, April 16th, between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m., they'll be relocating a pole. They're doing work at the intersection of Maidstone, Gosfield, and Arthur. It's approximately 4 hours. Based on a map that's listed, it's basically going to be from Arthur, Talbot to Gosfield, kind of in that triangle area, but more to come still from ELK on who will be out. But again, it's 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. If there is a rain delay, it's going to the following week.
Members of council, Councilor Garin.
Through you. Yep, shout out to the 73s. We're in the league finals back to back, and last series we had to overcome a little bit of adversity, but we managed to get the job done and start tomorrow night, and our mayor will be dropping the puck. So thank you for doing that. And she'll also be bartending. So she could literally drop the puck and run upstairs and what do you need? Anyways, come out and support 73s.
Right now, thank you.
Deputy Mayor Shepley.
Madam Mayor, nothing to report tonight. Thank you.
Verbeek.
Sure. I just, there's a number of Easter events going on in the community. I'll just cover the one that's in my ward, the McGregor Squirettes. They're doing an egg hunt on Good Friday, and it's from 9 a.m. till 10:30. There's also going to be breakfast served, and they're just asking that you bring a new package of socks or underwear or a cash donation that they'll be making to St. Vincent de Paul. Also on Good Friday, a lot of our service clubs, our Legion, the KFC in McGregor and in Essex. I'm not sure about the Harrow KFC, but they'll all be doing fish fries. And it's usually a big fundraiser for them. So on Good Friday, get your fish from one of our good, our service clubs if you can. And happy Easter.
Counselor Allard,
Chair, nothing tonight. Thank you.
Counselor Allard, Counselor McGuire Blaze,
Thank you through you. I have nothing to report.
thank you. Counselor McGuire Blaze, Counselor Mady.
And through you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, as far as Easter events go, Heritage Colchester has an Easter egg hunt. It's probably the only one that offers a special needs time slot. So if you have a special needs person in your life, no age requirement, there's a time slot. And I believe that registration ended yesterday, but if you get a hold of Laura Zakor tonight, I'm sure she'll find you a spot. And that Heritage Colchester wanted to thank the Essex Town Council for our donation to the Easter egg hunt. Also, I wanted to say thank you to Director Morrisseau and helping the Harrow Colchester Harbor win the best fishing hole. That's a great award, and I can't wait for the walleye shootout and having everybody down there to see it. And happy Easter. Thanks.
Our youth reps have done their youth report. If you need any, just ever put up your hand and we will acknowledge. So we do have a Easter egg hunt put on by the Kinsman Club of Harrow, and it is Saturday, April 8th at 10 a.m. Meet in the park. So there's that Easter egg hunt going on as well. Okay, reports. Oh, sorry, we just did that. Bylaws. Bylaw 2232. Being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the March 20th meeting. This bylaw 2232 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings be read a third time today. Looking for a mover for that? Councillor Mady, supported by Deputy Mayor Shepley. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor. Bylaws that require a first, second, and third and final reading. Bylaw 2233 being a bylaw to enter an agreement with Anne Bezaire to perform the duties of the superintendent and caretake for certain cemeteries in the town of Essex. Being that bylaw 2233 being a bylaw to enter into the agreement be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed on April 3rd. Looking for a mover, Councillor Allard, supported by Councillor Verbeek. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor. That's carried unanimously. 19.2.2, bylaw 2239 being a bylaw 2239 to appoint a director of legal and legislative services, clerk for the town of Essex, be read a first, second, and third time, finally passed on April 3rd. Needing a mover? Deputy Mayor Shepley, supported by Councillor McGuire Blaze. And just our start date, CAO Suite.
Thank you, Mayor Bondi. So it is in the bylaw, but it's Joseph Malandroupolo. Hopefully I said that correctly. He begins next Tuesday, April 11th. He'll be at the Strat session on Wednesday with council, the 12th, but he does start next Tuesday.
Okay, thank you for that. That is exciting. Any questions, further questions? Councillor Mady?
I just wanted to say thank you to our acting clerk for the wonderful job that she's done for us in covering and getting us to this point where we're able to hire a new one.
In you for a few weeks after.
Councillor Mady, Mrs. Brown has done a fantastic job. Any more questions? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried unanimously. Bylaw 2238, that a bylaw 2238 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the April 3rd regular council meeting of the Corporation of the Town of Essex be read a first and second time and provisionally adopted April 3rd. Deputy Mayor Shepley, supported by Councillor Guerin. Any questions? Seeing none, or no, okay. No questions, seeing none, all in favor? No, we said. Looking for a motion to adjourn. And just before we do, we have an exciting meeting on Monday, April 17th. We'll have that our Hydro night. Representatives from Hydro One are coming to a special council meeting at 5 o'clock. So that'll line up really well. Looking for a motion to adjourn. Counselor Allard and Counselor Hammond. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor? And thank you for joining us this evening. Have a good evening, everybody.